Welcome to another exciting edition of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And welcome to the Hump Day Happy Hour. This is, and I got to check my notes for this.
Here we go.
This is show number 11.
Nice.
And tonight's show was, salute, before you forget, brought to you by Gosling's Bermudan Rum. Actually, it wasn't. It was Barbados. But it was rum nonetheless. It was actually very good. And we got to give a shout out to our good friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter. His live show after ours. Check him out. It's Reselling Coins 101 with Dan from Coin Help You.
Nice.
I don't know very much about reselling coins.
I didn't even know there was a university called Coin Help You.
Oh yeah, well, it's I think I saw them play football the other year against What's the Matter You.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
Nice little Bullwinkle joke.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we had a bunch of people over here. They show up for that humor.
Yeah, of course they do. Thrifty, healthy, and happy. How's it going? I know you're patiently waiting. So was I. Amen to Jesus, reseller.
Hey, and amen to Jesus. Shout out to you. You do a lot of. We were just actually talking on Instagram right before this. He's got some pretty good ideas. He's bouncing off me. He does some good. I'm not going to give away his business secrets, but they're actually. He's on the right path. Let's say that.
Well, hopefully they're free. Lori's in the house. Thanks for coming. Tony's in the house. How you doing? And Dawn's on time again. I'm loving it. Loving it.
Before we get into anything on the show, I want to share an email that I got literally, I'm going to say about 10 minutes probably before the show.
Right.
And it's about offers to buyers. And it's kind of funny because I know you have a common problem among offers to buyers.
I do.
But let me read this one first, and then we'll have you tell about your common problem. So it was a Vogue magazine that the person apparently was watching, and I sent an offer to a buyer out to them. They sent me this following email. I was never interested in this magazine. Who spends any money on a stupid magazine? Sorry, I don't know why eBay keeps sending me monies about this magazine. Sorry, I'm rambling, but it is annoying. So
yeah, it's annoying, all right. Yeah.
So I responded back to him. You put the stupid magazine I am offering for sale as a way to feed my family on your watch list for some reason. That's why you received a generous offer, as I have a mortgage to pay. So I didn't really know how else to put that. Yeah. But I just was laughing. It's like, well, then why are you looking at the stupid magazine?
Exactly.
But you have a common problem.
Well, first I want to start by saying I got here late, a minute before we started. Some of you guys are probably here before me. My kid had a playoff baseball game, and they did win.
Oh, very good.
They're advancing, very happy. So I see a smile for the next hour. But
I'll take it off your face pretty quickly.
Of course, yes.
But what problem do you generally have, and congratulations to your son, what problem do you generally have with the offers to buyers?
Well, for starters, let's talk about the new recent issue I'm having with sellers buying my items by mistake.
That's what I was getting at.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life because it's not a one-step process.
But it also happens regularly.
At least once or twice a week now. We got sellers, usually the non-adult area, so magazines and so forth, buying my item, and then he's like,
I thought you were buying mine. I thought you made an offer on mine.
Yeah, I was looking on your item, and you bought mine. Yeah, but why now all of a sudden? Like let's say for 18 years it never happened. Now it's happening once or twice a week.
All the time they are. Yep. So that's kind of funny. Got a few more people showing up. Yep.
Let's see. Flip for real. Of course, you're always here. Thank you for coming, Mr. Cuddy. How's it going? Don't forget, Mr. Cuddy, June 15th, big time. We're moving to Dirty Magazines. Ron DeWitt's in the house. So what else we got going on today?
Oh, we got a lot of stuff going on today. Last week's show got a lot of positive feedback on that. It was a very positive show, and it was probably, I think, one of our best ones we did. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do. Did want to give, and this is our shameless plug portion, did want to give a big shout out to all the people that are using the affiliate link. It really does help us, and a fair number of people are using it. And again, it's on every one of our videos. You just click on the either any item we have up either on eBay or Amazon, and if you make a purchase, we may get a percentage back, and it does help the channel. And that's the end of the shameless plug, but we do appreciate, we do see it's happening, and thank you. That's the end of the shameless plug.
Oh, so anyways, Lori's got something to say.
Oh, watching you guys on TV, the chat, but Papergoy, sometimes the chat covers your face. Well, it's probably better than
if it were up to me, I would be doing it on purpose, of course. Where's this TV chat? Because I see his face right now, and I'm not very happy.
We were actually going to do the channel the one time where I was going to be the unknown reseller and put the paper bag over my head.
I can't wait.
Boy, this 1970s humor we use is, I don't understand why we don't get more people watching us. It's crazy. I did want to give a big shout out to the number of people who have contacted us, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, and it's fun talking to everybody out there. And I am still listing on Etsy. I have not sold anything, but I want to give a huge shout out to Dawn and Lisa, both of whom looked at my store and have helped me some, and gave me a lot of hints that I would not have otherwise known. I mean, it would have been things I would have figured out eventually, 6 years down the line kind of deal. You just accidentally stumbled upon something. They really cut the learning curve way down for me, and thank you. One thing, if you're listening on Etsy, that I've kind of figured out from what they told me, if it says optional, that means do it.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't know since I'm blocked, and if you gals know how to unblock me for selling a 1978 Playboy, please help me do that.
But I definitely wanted to give a big shout out and big thanks out to them. But there we go. I bought two by mistake. Very shortly after I listed the same thing, I got the offer and thought it was an offer for my item. Well, there you go.
It does happen.
I guess it does happen. Yeah. Yep. You've noticed it quite a bit.
It's crazy. Mr. Cuddy, please cheer up. I'm stockpiling new collections of adult stuff. We got thousands and thousands of new stuff coming. My employees are back in business. We're going to be firing on all cylinders with the adult stuff. So don't you worry. We're going to make everyone happy.
So one thing that I forgot to mention last week, or I don't believe I mentioned it last week, was something other that I had told Random Neighborhood Kid. We were talking last week about eBay and how wonderful it is and all the opportunities. And obviously I'm older, so it was not around when yes, I am. Obviously I'm older, and it was not around when I graduated from high school. But if I could somehow be that age again, but have eBay and Amazon and the internet and all that available, I don't know if I would go to college, honestly, because you can make such a living off of eBay and Amazon, and there are such opportunities now. And certainly if I knew what I know now as far as a knowledge base of things, I don't think I would, because I ended up spending a lot of money. My parents spent a lot of money. I borrowed a lot of money, et cetera, et cetera. And yes, it did help me.
Right.
And I got a day job out of it, et cetera, et cetera. But you could just do so much on eBay and Amazon. It's just amazing the opportunities that are out there. So I didn't mention that last week, but I definitely feel that way.
I thought you were going to go, when you went back in time, you wouldn't have got that dumb mohawk that you had in high school. But hey, it's just me. Sounds
like we got a picture we got to put up at some point or other. Oh,
Tony,
you very much.
Tony's in the
thank
house.
You very much.
Appreciate that.
Anything in eBay today. You know something, and that kind of leads into talking about sales. How are your sales?
I would say my sales are average on the non-adult stuff, but the adult stuff is through the roof. People are doing like last-minute shopping before they think they're never going to get this stuff ever again. It's crazy. And
Tony, I was looking at my numbers right before we came on, and on the eBay dashboard, my sales today are $67 today with 15,500 items listed. It's a terrible day. I think I've sold 3 items, and then $67 includes shipping on international. And there was somebody that bought something or other to Canada, which was 15 plus 15 shipping. So $30 of that was one international sale. Wow. So 3 things I've sold today.
Yeah.
So it is bad. And then when you take a look at the dashboard, it's kind of like this on the way down for a while. So it isn't just you. And as I absolutely know where you're coming from, in that when any of us have a bad day, you always want to look around and see if other people have had a bad day or not as well.
Like I've been taking lower offers, not too low. I got to keep my magazines and so forth kind of steady. Like I don't want to sell them too cheap and sell them out, but just to pay the bill, some things, if it's within range, I might take a couple bucks less on some items, or if someone's got if I have a $500 item, they offer me 4, I'll check the comps first and I'll say, all right, he's right in the range. I can take this offer, so as long as I'm within range, but I am taking some lower offers just to pay some bills.
No, it's slow, and I don't want to get us kicked off for copyright violation, but so you had a bad day.
Yes, exactly.
So what did Tom asked, asking you a question.
How do you deal with
not nice sellers?
Yeah, who don't answer me. Well, The good news is you probably could, get your money back through eBay and PayPal or whatever. But if these are guys that are just selling adult stuff and they're going to like jump ship and go nowhere, and that's all they sell, you might have to jump through some hoops. But
that actually raises something other that I was going to bring up at some point, and I guess I will now, because talking about sellers who don't answer questions.
Yeah.
So this was back, a month or so ago. My sales have been pretty good, and I wanted to reward myself because the sales have been good overall, and I haven't bought anything for myself in quite a while. And there was a non-sports set that I was interested in, and the gentleman had two. It's an uncommon set, yet he had two of the sets in different conditions, and one was 2,100 and one was 2,400. And eBay did their 5% eBay bucks, and I said, hey, I was going to buy it anyway at some point. So first thing I did is I emailed the gentleman and I said, you've got two sets. What's the best price you can do on either set? Now, we're not talking a $20 card or something like that.
Yeah.
We're talking a $2,100 and a $2,400 set. So for most people, that's a fair amount of money. It's a fair amount of money for me to spend.
Sure.
He doesn't answer me back. I said, okay, maybe he didn't see my message. Maybe he's busy. Maybe.
Yeah.
So then I went on and I made him an offer on the $2,100 set of $1,750.
Respectable.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, I was willing to go a little higher, but I said, hey, I'll put that in. Maybe he'll counter it 19 or something.
Not insulting.
Whatever.
That's definitely fair.
And he never answered, never responded to the email, never countered, never accepted, never did anything. Wow. And I said, well, I guess I'm not buying that set. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because other bills came along. Yeah. But it isn't just you, Tom. Nothing personal. Yeah. It's not you. It's not you. It's me. He didn't feel that a $2,400, $2,100, $1,800, whatever the dollar amount of sale was even enough to respond to me. Even if he said, look, I really don't want to deal, although he did have best offer on it, but I really don't want to deal, then I would have waited up. But he never responded at all. And so I'm thinking to myself, even if I buy the item, even if I paid his $2,100, what kind of customer service am I going to get?
Yeah, he's insulted by this and doesn't even want to respond back. Like, that's like me taking a $5 offer on a $50 item. I don't respond back because I think it's wasting time. I have 500 emails to go through.
But that's also why I asked him in advance what he would take, because I wanted if he had told me I'll do 2,000, I would.
And he still, even say a week later, hey, I was on vacation.
Yeah, he never said anything whatsoever. So,
but a lot of these people that take the offers, maybe I'm used to being, I think I'm generous on my offers, because I'll take 20, 30, 40% on certain things. Where you say I'm looking to buy a lot of card boxes and it's $1,000 and they go make offer and I make 900. Decline, 950, decline. I have to pay like $990. What's the point of putting the offer?
I would agree with that.
There's a lot of sellers like that. It's like it's wasting everyone's time, I think.
Well, and I know we've talked in the past about banning bidders or banning bidders who make you insulting offers. Well, I had an item up for $41. The gentleman offered me $10. And after having done the one live show and having gone back and forth with a couple of people, I no longer ban you immediately for something like that. Yeah. So I responded back to him. I said, I'll be honest, we're not even in the ballpark. I mean, we're just not even in the ballpark. It's it was an 1834 magazine, and he's offering me $10 for free shipping. I'm not taking that on an 1834 magazine. I'm not. So
new magazines, you go in a grocery store, they're $10.
Yeah. So this is from 1834. And I said, we're not in the ballpark. I'm sorry. About a week later today, as a matter of fact, he comes back making me a $10 offer on it again. Now you're banned. I'm sorry. But I did respond back to him and I said, after postage, after my fees, after my packing supplies, after what I paid for the item, I'm going to put about 15 cents in my pocket for a magazine that's almost 200 years old. I said, if I need 15 cents that badly, I'm going to walk around the block and pick up returnables.
Okay.
And then I blocked them.
Did we discuss my longtime customer that got angry with me?
We will after we see who all showed up. I see some
all right. Family Flips is in the house. How's it going?
Oh, teach him so we can do this while he goes to college. We said, yep. And Random Neighborhood Kid has actually been talking about that as well. The only problem is he's not 18, so we're trying to figure out how to set it up because of the rules and all that kind of deal. Yeah.
Lisa, thanks for coming. You're never too late because you can always see us on the
see us on the replay. I gave you. I talked glowingly about you. Actually, I did.
Yes,
I really did.
Yes.
Average sales. I maybe miss 1 or 2 days a month, so maybe more than average. I thought I was going to sell anything today, and I had 3 sales happen.
Oh,
wow,
nice. Yeah, that's all it takes.
total.
All it takes.
Yeah, and that's what it'll probably be. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll wake up and then the sales will be good. You just never know on that.
Yeah,
you never know. I'm almost 6,000 items sold 4 today. Well, you're beating me. I got 15,000, and you got one more than me.
Yeah,
send some of those people my way. Right. And speaking of the cross listing, I am doing it in the Etsy. I haven't sold anything yet on there. I am doing the Vivs-views for the postcards, and I have sold 1 or 2.
Nice.
And then we had the bonus video up Monday where I picked up all of those comic books at the sale. The Dell comics, $1.66 a piece, I think is what I figured out. I ended up paying on them. And I'm listing those, and a couple of those have sold. And then the auction professor had a link, and I don't know if it's still good or not. I don't know what the limit was on it, but he had a link where you could bring your items over to HIP. And so I used the link on the postcard site, and I used the link on the comic book site.
Okay. Have
not sold anything in the postcards, but I have sold 3 items on HIP Comics.
Thank you for telling me.
You're welcome. I've sold 3 comics, although 1 has not been paid for, and I did contact the gentleman today, and it looks like I'm going to have to figure out their process. But one thing HIP did do, they did actually call me. Now I didn't get the phone because I was at my day job, and I didn't recognize the phone number. And then they followed up with an email where I guess I have an account representative and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
So that is nice. It looks like they ramped up their back office staff before they went on and did the push. So that's really good on that. And I was laughing because the gentleman was saying, if you have any questions, I'm like, I used to sell on you as you did back when they were bid start. That's how far back we go.
Right.
So on and off, we've been associated with the site here and there. But kind of interesting on that over there.
All right. Family flip. What we got going on here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely slower months. Yeah, I put my stuff on sale all the time because I got so many items, but maybe try putting them on sale or, taking better offers. That's what I would suggest right now.
See, and that's as to that.
If you're me.
No, right. No, I'm reading what the family flip said over there. Given my niche being paper, I've looked at it, and I'm not going to get into selling flip-flops. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to get into selling, suntan lotion, anything at all like that. So my way of looking at it is things are or have slowed down this year. I'm just, as I said last week, I'm just listing for October. I mean, if I get it listed now and it sells in October, that's fine. I'm going to do enough in sales. And I'm blessed at this point too, where as much as I can't stand it some days like today, I do have the day job. So that does pay the bills as well. So it just I'm just sticking through listing for October is all that I'm doing. Retail stores do it. Yeah, no, it is if you can find the stuff. But again, within a niche of paper, I don't see any given paper that, oh my gosh, it's going to sell better. I see obviously paper that sells better around the winter time. People want to buy the Christmas cards and they want to buy the Christmas paper and all that.
Right.
But summer, I've never really found that winning combination, but it is what it is as far as that goes.
That's a shocking fact.
Yes, I know.
Wait, so if you have 10,000 items listed?
If you did, it would cost you that $2,000 a quarter.
I could never do that. I can never bring everything over.
No. Right. And the way they bill it too, they bill 4 months up front.
Wow.
So if you brought 100,000 items over, they would charge you $20,000 today. And then 4 months from now, you get charged 20, assuming you sold nothing, et cetera. You pay another
good to know you're going to get a Christmas present. You just saved me $20,000, Larry. Crazy.
Yep. Thank you. That's one thing we always forgot. Everyone hit the like button. Definitely would appreciate it. Remember last week too, I was talking about the knee. It got better the next day. Then don't you know that 2 days ago, I went and missed my stoop when I was walking. I turned around and stepped down, and the whole thing happened again. Oh, jeez. And the funny thing about it is...
Maybe you should put a sign out there for strangers or yourself.
Or myself, yeah. The funny thing about it is you just never realize and that I'm right need, as crazy as that sounds.
Okay.
And that's if I've got something rather down on the bottom shelf and I've got to kneel down to get it.
Yeah.
When I go down on the right knee first. So now I'm going slow, going on the other knee first. Can I sit and get this instead of slamming my knee down into the ground and everything?
So I'm left-handed, so I must be left knee.
Try next time you.
Now, what if you're both knees? Your knee ambidextrous?
Anywho.
Yes, moving on.
But yeah, next time you need to get something down on the bottom shelf, notice what knee you put down first.
Exactly.
It might be your left knee for you.
Yeah.
Very well, maybe.
Mr. Cuddy. For me, I'm trying to work my relist. I haven't put anything in auction since they gave the notice, a month ago or 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. Why waste the time paying employees to list on there when it's just going to come off in a month? So I've been taking this stuff elsewhere. But as far as my relist, my last relist will be on the 14th because I want to see how eBay plays that out. If they're going to let everything go until the listings ended in 30 days, or if they're going to take it off immediately on the 15th. Right. We don't really know. I've heard both, everything's coming off on the 15th, or your auction will end when it's done with its cycle.
So potentially July.
Yeah, I'm going to hit everything by the 14th, and that'll be the end of it.
You got a something or other that
True.
Wow.
Brian's in the house. How's it going? Thanks for coming.
One quick thing, and this is just basically news for any, this is going to be news to you, and it's also news to any of our people from the Rochester area that are into reselling. Do you remember Warren? Everybody in reselling remembers
the book art guy,
postcards,
golf art stock.
Golf art stock. Yep. This is eBay ID.
Yep.
Great guy. Taught me a lot. Unfortunately, he passed over the weekend.
Was it sudden or bad health?
Bad health. Yeah, he actually went into hospice and all that. Just wanted to take a moment, just give a shout out to Warren wherever he is now.
Good guy.
Very good guy. Helped me a lot. Got a quick Warren story that we told on the channel, but I never said who it was. It was actually him, where he had picked up a Green Lantern and a Detective, I believe it was, Golden Age comic book. And he wanted to sell them to me because he had picked them up. And so he calls me to come on by, and he's got the books, and I bring my price guide, and we look them up. And I said, these are VG. I said, these are both VG condition. And we looked them up, and the Green Lantern was 150, and the other one was 250. Let's say, so they're worth $400. Let's say. And Warren came from the book world, and if you come from the book world, grading in the book world is essentially one grade off from comics. So in other words, a VG in the book world would be a fine in the comic world.
Gotcha.
And a good in the book world would be a VG in the comic world. So I said to him, these are VG.
So book world's a little stiffer.
Yeah. So I'm grading based off of the comic world. And I'm saying these are VG. They're legitimate VG comics. He looks at it and goes, those aren't VG. Those are good. Give me $200 for the pair. Which I'm not going to argue. He gave me a great deal, but and he made money at that price as well. So he was happy as well. But here's to you, Warren. You were a good guy. Now he helped me a lot. And anytime I picked up any old paper, stuff like that, especially prints, art prints, things like that, I would go over and visit him and say, I bring him over and say, hey, what is this? What do I have? And that kind of thing. No, you can definitely make money in books. I'll give you a little bolo on the books. If you go to a sale and you see the people with the scanners, don't bother looking at the ISBN books because they've already scanned them, except take a look at things like Da Vinci Code and things like that, because those are so common that they're not going to look at them. And meanwhile, you can pick them up. And I picked up a Da Vinci Code first at a sale that a guy had scanned books through. So you just pick them up and you just look to see if they're first prints or not. And I sold that overseas for $100, something other like that. And I paid $1 for it at a book sale. So that's a little tip there. Don't bother looking at the ISBN stuff except specific ones. But the other ones, they've already scanned them. They just have. So don't waste your time on them. So hopefully that helps you. Oh, yeah. Rochester has some great resellers. Yep. It's time for our favorite. And this is going to actually I emailed you. We're going to be talking about this in our one of our studio shows. But do you know what this is?
It looks like a cereal box.
It indeed is a Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat brand cereal box. You know what this is not? This is not, to anybody out there, this is not effective packing material for 3 comic books. A gentleman, I bought 3 comic books on eBay, didn't even put them in a bag, literally took the 3 comic books, stuck them inside of a cereal box, which has no support whatsoever, and threw it in the envelope.
Now, were they 99-cent comics?
I paid $15 for the 3.
So they were not.
They were not 99-cent comics.
Definitely worthy of. So this was the actual box.
Oh, then he put it in an envelope. This was the
Wow.
pack. This was the entire packing material.
Jeez.
Um,
Where are the comics?
They actually survived it.
Oh,
They actually
he
survived.
knew what he was doing.
I was going to say, I guess his argument to me was they got there safely, didn't they?
Exactly.
But we're actually going to do a studio show about packing material and some of the terrible packing jobs and some of the ways that you can pack things a little bit better.
Yeah.
That we've learned throughout the years. But a hint: crackling oat bran is not a good packing material. Now maybe Frosted Flakes, but not crackling oat bran.
You should try selling it on eBay.
Oh yeah, it's worth a try. A couple of years that'll be worth something or other.
Flutie Flakes.
Oh, Benjamin, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank all of you. I mean, like I said, a lot of people did reach out and help me this week. I've learned a lot of things. Shout out, doesn't look like she's made it yet, but shout out to Jem. She actually spent a lot of time over the weekend on the phone with eBay. We did a video about Web Interpret, and she signed up for it. And then she was finding some errors in it. Well, it turns out there weren't the errors weren't there. After she spent about 10 to 12 hours on the phone with eBay, back and forth, turns out that eBay was paying the right amount of money out, and Web Interpret was doing things right. The only thing was there was one fee on there, 45 cents or thereabouts, that wasn't supposed to be there, but otherwise it was right. But eBay's computers were showing the wrong numbers internally. So they figured out what the glitch was finally, and are taking care of it. So, those are the kind of things that, people out there are doing for all of us. Yeah. Because that glitch is going to be taken care of to anybody that uses Web Interpret. So thank you, Jem, for spending 10 hours on the phone so that we didn't have to. Exactly. We definitely do appreciate that.
I would have hung up after 30 minutes. So.
Well, you had, did you pick up any buys this week?
Let's see. I did pick up a couple buys. I picked up a really good toy buy. So big that I didn't have enough room in my 16-foot box truck that I got to go back Friday to Palmyra. It's about an hour away. Then I picked up a sports card collection. Actually, I have to pick up tomorrow. But let's see what else. There was the big adult deal is on hold, but I'm probably going to get it. They just don't know how they want to present it to me to make them an offer. So they were supposed to have, 5, 6, 7, 10,000 magazines, a lot of early stuff. Well,
I mean, on that there, without giving away too much, it was basically a hidden collection that the patriarch of the family had assembled. Yeah. That the rest of the family was unaware of and discovered. Yeah. And the people that discovered it don't necessarily want the rest of the family to know about the existence of it. So they're trying to figure out how to get it to you, because other family members may be around the house, and it's just they don't want anybody to know.
And apparently someone's always there getting it ready to sell, because I said, hey, just give me an hour or two. I'll bring in my truck and employee. We'll load in the truck. I'll pay cash and leave. And now they're worried that they're going to see it when they're transporting it. So they put it into a storage facility. And when I went there today to look at it all, it was only half of it. So now they got to bring the rest back. But, I kind of told them where I got to be. If what they showed me so far, I gave them an average price per. So if the rest is the same, we'll just double it. So
and that's one of the things too, when you are buying things, you have to understand where the people that are selling it to you is coming from, and it's a touchy subject for them as far as that goes potentially. Yeah. So you jump through some hoops to make them happy as well, because there's no reason not to. Basically, is what it comes down
and
to.
They're fine. Not that they're finding a pinch. I'm still going to offer them the same today as I would have before eBay shut down. But they did have other people in mind that were out of state that backed out at this point. And one of them was that Atlanta Mags guy. So most likely, 99% chance I'm getting it.
That's a good point, Lisa, that she was talking about if somebody's allergic to.
Yeah, that is true.
I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah. Not having allergies. Well, I do have allergies, but not to that. Paper bag and Pampers doesn't work either.
Jeez. Wow. That's crazy.
Shipped that way. The doll she bought didn't survive.
They just don't think about what could happen.
We may steal that idea for our.
At least the Pampers were clean.
It's a family show.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm sure. Sadly to say, don't tell anyone, but the truck has not driven in quite some time. I'm using it strictly for advertising until I'm forced to move it. But I do have a backup truck.
Now you had some fun on Monday, as I recall, and I had some fun with you.
Oh yeah, lots of fun. Well, yeah.
Well, fun. This is actually funny. Without going into too many details at this point, only it has to do with corporate structures and all that kind of thing. But here's the fun thing about it is I have a degree in accounting. I work as an auditor for New York State. So, and I know who your accountant is. I mean, I've dealt with your accountant in the past. Sure. And I also obviously know your business, and I know reselling business. So I was basically, as we said, I was basically Google Translate, translating from the accountant into the reseller, and from reseller back into accountant, and seeing the way that your inventory is kept, for example, seeing the way that this is taken care of, seeing where this is purchased at, and then describing it to the accountant, who then was able to, we'll do it this way over here, and then be able to explain it back to you. So, but it was actually, I actually enjoyed it, believe it or not. I had a headache. I was going to say, you didn't seem to enjoy it nearly as much.
Well, I basically wanted to say, hey, I'll pay you guys whatever, just get it done. Just get it done. Tell me to sign wherever I got to sign. I'm protected. I trust you guys. Okay, let's move on.
So, but it was good though. It was good.
Well, unfortunately, round 2, my attorney was supposed to meet today, and then he got sidetracked out of state with some emergency. So, it's a process, but we'll get it done.
One other thing I got here on my notes, and then we'll get into our couple of things. Oh, one other quick thing. So Primetime had a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month and a half ago, a gentleman on who was making money, and I know you watched that one as well, with the merch by Amazon.
Yes.
With the T-shirts and all that stuff. So I went and applied for a merch by Amazon account, and took 2.5-3 weeks for them to say,
really?
Yeah.
What's the reason?
None. They're Amazon. They don't have to give a reason. So I've got to do a bunch of research online about how to reapply if you can, or I've read a couple of things online say just get a different account.
Why don't we try me?
I was going to say we can get a different. If I could find some schlub to be my bag man.
Hey, maybe you need like over 200,000 listings on Amazon.
Yes, I'm sure all those people have that. I guess I'm just not creative enough for Amazon. Darn it. So that was that news. And another quick thing you were going to talk about for a moment or two was about your basically how are the buyers in the adult section right now?
I would say it's like a feeding frenzy.
I wrote down sharks in the water.
They're trying to get anything. Like they think the world's going to end June 15th, and they're going to get anything they can by then within reason. The problem is most of these buyers think that most of these sellers are just done. They're just going to garage sale them out on eBay, and then they're done. When I'm sure some of the bigger ones will get websites. I think Mr. Cuddy mentioned it in one of the posts here. Some of the bigger companies are going to move on, and I'm going to move on, and so forth. And there's the adult stuff only site. Hopefully that works out. But everyone's just making these crazy low offers to me. And, I got some steady customers that they buy in bulk. They'll buy 40, 50, 100 items, and they'll offer 20% less. And in the past, maybe I wouldn't take it. But if they're going to offer that many buys, 100 items, I'll take it. But $4 or $5, free shipping, I just simply can't do that. And maybe other sellers are doing that with the adult stuff. I just can't. And I'm not a closing shop. I'm going to be hopefully growing my website to where it's a bigger adult site in the next 6 months or a year.
You got yelled at by one of your buyers.
I did. A long-time buyer. He was a good buyer. He'd buy 3, 4, 5 items, spend $50, $100 maybe every month or two. Got nasty with me because I wasn't taking his low offers. And he said, everyone else is taking these low offers. You're charging the same or more. This is crazy. Why are you doing this? It's a bad business. And I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to sell on eBay. I won't sell adult on eBay unless I can, unless it qualifies in that category.
They open it up.
I'll see what happens. I'll give it a couple months to test it out and see what people are putting in that collectibles category. But for the most part, I'm going to be pouring all my listings into my site. Why wouldn't I? That's what it's there for, and that's what I planned on anyways. And he just got angry that $20 items he was offering me $5, and then he goes, everyone else is selling those items for the same price. And I said, if they're honestly selling the same exact item in the same condition as me, why would you not buy from them? Why would you not buy from them?
Send me the link. I'll buy from them.
Maybe they're working out of their basement. They have no employees, but I can certainly not compete with that. I was talking about my sister.
Oh, all right. When you say it like it's a bad thing.
Well, I'm just saying I can't compete with someone selling a $5 item. They might make $1. I might lose $5.
Right. Which brings us. We'll do the.
Hold
chat.
on, Amazon sellers in the house. Thanks for coming.
Hey, thank you for coming. Yep. And
let's see.
I saw Facebook where someone received the package. They used
revived the package.
Scrubber sponges. Oh.
Grill hustles in the house.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Yeah. Sorry, wrong one. Here we go.
But that ties us in, and we're not going to free shipping or for priority, faster and more secure. Yeah, well, that's.
Well, a lot of the adult buyers want the stuff as cheap as they can possibly get it, but most of them buy 2, 3, 4 items where I'm forced to ship it priority unless it's a movie.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that ties us into, well, just run through the chat, finish the chat. Hey,
Heidi, thanks for coming.
How you doing? It's unrelated topic. I noticed they have changed Terapeak today. It is now defaults in obscure category. They, I don't know what they're doing. And again, we're trying not to go on eBay rants, but this morning you had me do something or other for you on eBay. Block a bidder, and I'm trying to think of why you had me block him, but you had me block a bidder. And
it was like 100.
Oh, the $3, $4,
$5
offers, yeah. And so I went in, and the entire the black bidder area just looked wrong, completely wrong. Everything didn't load right. Now it said that it accepted it, so hopefully that it did. But there were a couple of other spots where they were just screwing around with the way everything looked. It almost looked like 2001 or 1998 kind of just the way the whole site looked in those areas.
Like a blip game?
Yeah, basically. So that must be what they were doing today, is they're working on the Terapeak. I did notice the other day when I went in that I was searching on a Gene Autry piece of sheet music, because that's what I do for fun. And it immediately, when I typed in the Gene Autry and the name, it immediately defaulted to record. And then I had to go in and change it to sheet music. Usually I like to see all categories. Yeah. Because you never know what you're going to see when you're looking for all categories. You might see something that you just never thought of before, and you say, wow, that's worth $80. I didn't know that. Yeah. So I use it as a very good way to learn. Well, if they're just going to default to the one category, if I'm in a hurry and it's the right category, I'll take it. But if it's not, I'm going to have to screw around up there. And it's like, just default to all categories and let me drill down into it if I want to. Right. Yeah. But they're doing what they want to do on that.
Yeah, Mr. Cuddy, I agree with that. It could get open, and it would definitely be embarrassing. But it is what it is. And that you get what you pay for in this life sometimes.
Hey,
Jem's in the house.
Gave you a shout out too. Everybody's coming just after their shout out. I swear I'm giving you people shout outs, and I'm not just saying it to get you to watch the replay. You can ask anybody. I really did. That ties into our subtopic for today, what we had talked about earlier. And I don't want to go too deep into this because I think this is going to make a really good live show later. But our subtopic today was going to be talking about employees. And I know you had a situation with a couple of employees. I guess you can probably tell why they missed a period of work.
Yep. So 2 employees ended up getting COVID almost 3 weeks ago, or had the symptoms. And then they just came back now, so they had it a little tough for a few weeks, so a little extended period, and they were out. And they're 2 of my better listers, so that's partly the reason my sales were down a little bit. A lot of my auction items, they put on, $50, $100, $500 items, so I was missing that for a while.
And they're better. They're better.
They're definitely better. They're breathing better and so forth. So that's good. Business is going to be, rocking soon, hopefully. We're keeping it easy for them this week, though. I just said, hey, it's a light week. Just sit at your desk, do the easy stuff, and then we'll worry about the bigger stuff next week.
Yeah, and we're going to get into one of these times soon. And you and I actually got into about once every 6 months to a year. We get into a heated discussion, let us call it.
Yes.
And we did have a heated discussion yesterday, as a matter of fact. And to preview a future live show, it's going to be about employees and employee costs. And the long and the short of it is, as of January 1st, 2022, the minimum wage in upstate New York, so it'll be across New York, will be $15 an hour. And we're going to talk in a future show about what you need to do if you're faced with that situation. Because $15 an hour, that's a lot of money. It really, truly is, especially... And I don't know off the top of my head what federal minimum wage is, but it's like 8 1/4, something other like that. Well, you're competing with somebody in Alabama can have 2 people working for the amount you're paying one person.
Yeah.
That definitely gives them an advantage over you. No doubt at all about it.
Sure.
So that's going to be a future show. We just have to figure out a little more about it. And we're going to figure out some plans for you and what you need to do. But that's expensive when you get right down to it. An 8-hour day is $120 in wages alone. Then you've got the FICA, you got the workers' comp, you got the disability, et cetera on top of it. So an 8-hour day for one employee, no matter how good or how bad, figure it. It's not quite, but figure it $150 a day is what you're paying.
Yeah, I think I was just guesstimating with the 15 employees. All if I give everyone it's going up $250 roughly.
Yeah. So if you give everybody a $2.50
no matter what they're
raise,
making, if everyone gets a $250 raise, I'm shelling out an extra $75K annually. Which is a lot. That's definitely a chunk of change.
No, that is a lot of money.
But it's not just me. It's going to happen. It's going to hit pizza joints, mom and pop shops. Anything. They're all going to get hit with it.
Which what are they going to do? They're going to move the price. They're going to move the cost along, which means everybody's going to end up in the same boat they were when they started. It's
cut
still
back hours. Fire a few people. Probably. It's going to happen all over.
Not to get political, but I'm going to for 1 minute. If I'm working for $8 an hour and I can buy a Big Mac meal with that hour's worth of work, or everything goes up and I'm working for $15 an hour and I can buy a Big Mac meal with that amount of work, at the end of the day, I'm in the same boat. It just looks better than I'm earning 15. So that's the crazy thing about it. Yeah. But we'll get into that.
Thank you, Resell Studio. Appreciate it.
We'll get into that. Got a couple other people. We'll get into our main topic here. I never had. Oh,
goodness gracious, yeah.
I'm not even going to read that one out loud. I throw my mouth on that one, employee costs really add up. Yep, all add up. They most certainly do. They most certainly do, and not to take away, and I'm going to say this again in the live show that we do about it, but one thing I always tell Mr. Magazine, and he's actually had a couple of people by that have watched his employees, and you are, as you were telling me today, lucky because they do work. They may not always be the best. They may make mistakes. They may dog it a little bit, et cetera, but they work. Yeah. But I've read studies that say out of an 8-hour day, you're lucky to get 4.5 hours worth of work out of an employee. Right. So basically you're throwing 3.5 hours away every time you have an employee every day, which is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to work with my employees or any employees.
And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. You want to make it somewhat fun to work too. You don't want to make it to be a brutal place.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, enough about the stock.
All right, that can't be good. Postage is going up. Yeah, of course it always is.
Yeah. Let's get on to the main topic, the long tail. And I actually watched, and hopefully he catches this live show on the replay. I actually watched Pure Hustle Podcast, their show today. From a day or two ago. Mm-hmm. And Orlando was talking in it how a lot of people give him a hard time about his long tail. Yeah. And he was saying that he sold something that he listed 3 years ago. And I Instagram messaged him and said, I'm laughing out loud about that. And you actually said, when I mentioned that to you, you actually said something funny, which I've got an idea. Maybe you should try that on a show once in a while. Yeah. But anyway, you actually said something. You actually said something funny about that.
Well, since we've been on eBay 20 something years, and I think when we reset ourselves 12, 13 years ago and started Amazon, so most of our inventory is 12 years old at the oldest, for the most part. So, employees make mistakes on items that were 12 years ago. They probably don't work here, or they didn't know what they were doing. If they're making a mistake now, they should really know what they're doing.
Or some of the mistakes from back then, what appears as a mistake now weren't mistakes back then.
Right. It could have been just sorting a record in the wrong category or something.
Or the picture could have dropped, or you have 14-day returns on them because that was allowed at the time. Sure. You've got this, you've got that. So they weren't even mistakes. At the time.
But every day we're going to sell a lot of stuff. We're going to have mistakes. It's just going to happen every day. We're just, we accept it. We do the best we can. We move on. So, but generally, say a mistake is made 2 or 3 years ago. My manager comes to me and he's like, she just listed this thing. And I look at him like, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, but that's like a new item compared to like our inventory, So, we sell a lot of things, obviously, that's recent, a year old, but we sell things 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12. Every day we'll sell an item that's 10, 12 years old. But I guess new, I would say 3 years or sooner would be newest for me.
And that's what I think people need to understand about the long tail. It truly is the long tail. And what I did this morning, first thing this morning, I wrote some numbers down because I did a little research for the show. Mm-hmm. My last, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. As of this morning, My 15 most recent sales were listed in 2019, 2008, 15, 12, 16, 15, 20, 20, 21, 14, 17, 21, 17, 16, 17. So out of my last 50 items that I sold, listed in 2017 or earlier, 20.
Oh, 40%.
So 40% of the items that I sold out of my last 50 were listed 2017, 2016, 2015, et cetera, et cetera. That's what long tail is. Those items, they've been bought and paid for. I don't remember where I got them at necessarily. I just listed them and I put them in a box and I forgot about them. If you have the space to handle that, especially now with eBay's fees, you can afford to do that. That's what long tail truly is. And those are some actual numbers. And you could go on and you know, I do the cents, as everybody knows. So $20.17 means I listed it in 2017. I mean, you could go on and you can search on my ended auctions, my sold auctions yourself and verify what I'm saying there. But again, 20 out of my last 50, before anything that's sold today, were old items.
I should try that one of these days and see what happens. It may take me a little longer, but we'll get it done.
You're talking about 50 items, so it'll take you longer as you're slower than me.
That is true. Yeah, that is a good point. I won't do all my listings.
Yeah, exactly. But that truly is, and like a 3-year item, that would be 2018.
Yeah. Generally, the newer the item, we have less issues, but we still have issues.
Yeah. So there's so much money to be made with a long tail. A lot of people out there watch the comic haul that I had over there on Monday. I could sit there and I could list those, all of them. And that's another thing too, is with the things I'm listing on the $1 Million Peddlers and on Viv's Views, I'm doing old school listings and it actually feels good because I'm just taking the picture, listing it, taking the picture, listing it, taking, and I'm getting I'm listing 5 comics a day, 5 items on Etsy a day, and 5 postcards a day to the various sites. And it literally is taking me, with pictures, 6 minutes to list 5 comics.
Oh, that's nice.
8 minutes to list the 5 postcards.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just flying through the listings, which is how I used to list everything.
Yeah.
So
you're using a CZUR too.
I'm definitely using a CZUR.
Pump them out.
Which speeds things up quite a bit there.
Nice.
Using that scanner. But it feels good to be listed that way, and it's bringing me back to 2010 because that's the way I listed everything back then.
Yeah. Well, I saw this eBay adult thing happening a year ago. I just knew it was going to happen at some point, so we started turning some eBay adult boxes into Amazon listings. So we started it 10 years ago, and now we're back to 2015, 2016. So these boxes were 6 years old, and most of them at the most are half full. Some there's hardly any magazines in the boxes. So So 5-6 years where we're selling most of our stuff at.
Yeah, and that's
for me, that's good long tail for my listings.
Well, and that's what it comes down to. You've got, I'll just use mine because I've got 15,500 listings.
Yeah,
and if I can list enough to maintain. So I sell roughly 100 items on eBay a week, 105, something like that. If I can list 100 items a week, I'm maintaining. And a couple of the new things that I'm listing sell, but some of the things that I'm listing today are going to sell in 2025. But I know that going in.
Oh, of course,
I know that going in, so I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you're somebody that just wants to turn your merchandise over quickly, probably don't get into paper. I mean, that would really be my best advice to you.
Sure.
Find somebody like us to wholesale out to and pull the best of the best out of it. I mean, obviously, if you pick up a comic book collection, a mixed comic book collection, there's a Hulk 181, grab that. You can sell that any day of the week. Yeah. But you get into, Hulk 217, good luck to you. I mean, that's
you're competing with the whole world.
And that's going to sit there for years.
Right.
So if you don't want to do long tail, but you want to do paper, that would be really what I would suggest, because the real way to make money in paper is buying in bulk. I mean, you can go around and go around the book shows and antique shows and, that book's, the guy wants $1,200 for it and I can sell it for $2,500. Okay, I'm going to pick that book off. Yeah. But you're not going to pick up hardly anything. The real way with paper is gigantic lots of stuff. I mean, that's how you built your entire business, is big lots of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
But can you imagine if you had somebody else that you could flip the lesser
I'd love
stuff to.
I'd love it.
And you had
someone like me 20 years ago, that's just starting out, giving great deals that can make money selling $10 items. Oh, that'd be great.
But say you only had 3,500 items on eBay, and the rest of it you wholesaled out.
Sure.
Those would be the cream of the cream that you had at that point.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, that's what it would come down to. So that's really the long tail, but I did want to give some numbers on it just so you could see. Like I said, 20 out of 50 items for 2017 or prior that I had listed them.
Very cool.
Because a lot of people talk about it, but even friend of the channel, Auction Professor, when he talks about it, he's talking things that it sat for a while, sat for 2 years, sat for 3 years. I don't hear anybody. I mean, the one item that I sold has been listed since 2008. 13 years it took to sell.
That's crazy.
I don't hear anybody else saying that. I don't know if other people aren't selling them from 2008 or if they're afraid they're going to scare people away. But I mean, that's the absolute
some
truth.
People, just don't want to store stuff that long.
Well, and that's the problem.
Our mutual friend, Pat, we'll call him.
Yeah. No, and I understand that too. Things deteriorate. They take up space, et cetera, et cetera. And it does sometimes get discouraging when the thing doesn't sell and you walk by it and you say, that's good. Why didn't that sell?
Right.
But, I'm just looking down there like a 2012 item. That's 9 years old. A 2014, I don't remember what I was doing when I listed that.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
And I'm more likely to take a lesser offer on an older item.
Definitely.
Jim's got a good point here. If anyone's
posted
mailing letters,
letter mail only. Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Send a letter with a stamp. Right. Okay. Very good. And quick little tip to anybody out there: if you do still send letters out, which I do, and I gave you this advice as well, and you took it.
Okay.
Go on eBay and buy the forever stamps.
Yeah.
You can end up picking up rolls of 100 of them for I don't know, $51, $48, something or other like that. The only thing is, and I know they shouldn't be doing it, but last time I purchased them, eBay did charge me sales tax on them, which they shouldn't do. So if we have any lawyers out there that want a class action suit, there you go. I'll sign on.
Yeah, Mr. Cuddy, I think Papergoy and myself had this issue is people getting angry that, I should be accepting their offers regardless of what it is, and everyone else has the same, lower price than me. And I tell them all the time, they may have the same title or issue as mine, or maybe mine's nicer, but there's a reason I'm asking more, and eventually I will get more, and I'm not going to sell my stuff cheap.
Well, but even leave all of that out of it.
Yeah.
We have figured out in the past that it costs you 50 cents to list the item, 50 cents to find the item, and 50 cents to pack the item. Leave out the fact that your mortgage on your warehouse is higher than my mortgage on my house. Leave out that your utilities are higher. Leave out that your insurance is. Leave all of those expenses out.
Yeah.
Just from point A, just right there.
Yeah.
You're at $1.50 higher.
Right.
So if my break-even point on that, everything else is the same. We pick up exactly the same item. Packing supplies exactly the same. If my break-even point is $5, yours is $6.50.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got an extra $1.50 in expenses into it that I do not have.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and if they're $50 items, it's a different ballgame. But when you're talking 10, 15, 20, it's a good chunk percentage, So,
trust me, Amazon selling any, and I've been working for them for 20 some years. It's never any fun.
Unfortunately, I like a fun environment and crack jokes and so forth. So, it's hard to crack the whip. I used to crack the whip when I was a new boss and didn't know how to be a boss, and everyone hated me because it was all about numbers. And then I loosened up, made more money, was a little friendlier and easygoing, and they like me better. Maybe they like me too much now, but
if it makes you feel any better, we've all found different reasons to hate you.
Oh, thank you. Good for them. Let's see.
You guys experienced any slowdown in sales? All the recent eBay changes.
It's up and down for me.
Actually, thank you for saying that. I was wondering what this was. I wrote over on the side. So I was listing a magazine. And we have the item specifics, and you have the required. Oh, and here's a change they actually made today when I listed a magazine. You get, and I'm going to make this up because I did not write it down, for the item title of the magazine today, when I went to list something, 300 characters.
Wow.
So it's a box that's like this big that I can put the item title in. I mean, what magazine am I selling that's got a title that big? I've never seen one like that.
Yeah.
But that was just a change today. So when we were talking about potential problems with the site today with it being down. They obviously made that change. Now I don't know if they're going to keep it because I don't really think they need 300 characters for a magazine title. Time Magazine, no, that's like 13. That's
all you need.
Outside once a week, anybody's first time hiring someone. Yeah, good. That's
yeah.
on you.
Well, I live and learn, but I go with my gut a lot of times and who I feel would be a good fit for the business and the employees I have now. And obviously I have to give them warnings. Are you allergic to a dog? I have a little Yorkie. Do you mind being around adult items? Because you're going to be around adult items. I prefer them having a license because I do have a box truck that needs to be driven, but it's not necessary. But lately I just I've been having my new assistant manager sit in with me, and we basically get a feel for these guys, and we'll talk about it and pick the one we think is the best fit and what our gut tells us.
For these people, not guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, for these people. I do have females working for me, if anyone was wondering. Multiples. So generally it's a warehouse position, but we'll take anybody. But generally,
if you're qualified for the job, if you can do the lifting.
Yeah, and my manager, she worked for me for 6-7 years, and she climbed up those ladders and lift those heavy boxes every day. So that it's if you can handle it and enjoy it and don't mind it, it's fun. We'll make it fun.
But the other thing I wanted to mention, you've sold magazines for a while, correct?
Yes, definitely.
So now this is not required,
okay,
but this is an option that you can put in the item specifics, and people can apparently search on it if they want to. And for a magazine, was it controlled circulation, non-paid circulation, or paid circulation?
Thank God I don't list it.
Can I ask you what controlled circulation is?
That's my employees. I don't list
magazine.
I buy the magazines and I sort the magazines. I certainly do not list the magazines.
I have no idea what controlled circulation is. Paid circulation, that's pretty obvious.
Control, does that mean 100,000 printed? And they control it to.
Well, paid would be like Time Magazine.
Yeah.
Non-paid would be one of those things like if your high school sent a magazine out to you, you're not paying for it. You get one of, I don't know what controlled circulation is.
Did you Google it?
I was going to just ask a magazine expert when I see one.
Well, let's look for one because I don't see one here right now.
So just wanted to tell you that.
Well, I'm sure if you call eBay, they're not going to know either. I guarantee that. I guarantee they won't know the difference between any of those.
Jem, if you could do us a favor, next time you're on the phone with eBay for 10 hours, if you could ask them what controlled circulation is, because I'd really like to know that.
Crazy. Oh, this one's for you. I'm not a big fan of this.
I never bothered doing it. I do think that, and I know just because of the item specifics and all that, revising your item will do that. It will bump it up in search. I've sold, and that might be one of the reasons actually why I've sold so many older items at this point.
Yeah.
Because I've been revising various older things as well. So that could be pushing those to the forefront. But that would be definitely how I would do it. Just, add a picture on something or other.
For me, I'm sorry, go finish.
No,
I have so many listings. I simply don't have time to put that extra effort into relisting an item like that. Yeah, I do the auto relisting. I just check in bulk 200, boom. They go from auction to store. That's worth it. But to actually end them and relist them.
Yeah, we both do take offers. As to the sales, we do have a video up where we talk about our differing views on sales. Generally speaking, to be the Cliff's Notes of the video, I basically put things on sale once to twice a year and more to clear out old inventory than anything else. Yeah. You tend to run more frequent sales.
Yeah, I run the sales 365 days a year, even through Christmas. I just have too many listings sitting around in older stuff because of the long tail. But yeah, definitely I got to move product to grow my business. Really, I can't, or I would need 2 warehouses if stuff wasn't selling. So, a few years back, I said, hey, I got too many listings. I'm not selling enough. So, I've been taking offers forever, but if put them on sale definitely helped my business for sure. All right. Laura, what do we got going on?
She gets more of the customers than I do. We got an eBay about the same year. I just don't get that she sells more than I do. What I would do, and we actually shot a video in the studio that we will be putting up in probably about 3 weeks, where we talk about looking at your competition, and she's your competition, but that doesn't necessarily obviously mean anything bad. Mm-hmm. It just means she's selling in the same category you are. So what I would do is I would take a look at what is she doing?
Yeah.
For some reason or other, she's drawing the traffic.
Maybe the zoom in.
Maybe the zoom in.
Yeah.
If you, thanks to Auction Professor who told us that one, or mentioned that in his video, it definitely works. Take a look at a couple of our Bolo videos where I mentioned the zoom in, and then take a look at the picture that I have the zoom in on versus the other one. There's no doubt at all the zoom in sells those.
Yeah.
Maybe her category, maybe she uses a little different category. If you both have stores, maybe she has her store set up differently. And I keep promising, but at some point we're definitely going to do a video about store categories, because I think that store categories are probably one of the most underutilized yet most important things you possibly can have out there, because you can definitely funnel people in with what categories you have.
Right.
It's just amazing. And then the other thing is, as long as you sell the store category to people, somebody buys an item. I had a gentleman today buy an item from Canada, and I was talking with him a little bit on there, and I said, hey, just to let you know, I have a store category called Canada, and a lot of times they don't know that. And then they go in and they find a category and they buy 2, 3, 4 other things. And then anything I have Canada, I immediately list in there. So I think store categories are certainly underutilized, and at some point we're going to show you what we have and why we have them. And it is a good idea. Like for you, at some point, you probably do need to clean them up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I just off the top of my head, I think you've got like you got a couple of different, like wrestling, for example, because years ago a collection
we were going to try merging them. We just haven't gotten around to it. But, little by little, we were doing changing some around. Jem, that's a great question. I know what Papergoy does with his comics. I think he buys those stackable boxes, and you buy the sturdier bankers. To
protect them. And then I also, if it's valuable or fragile, then when I do pack it away, I definitely make sure it's bagged up and everything like that. Now, obviously, we've talked about doing that, you doing it, or me doing it. One of the problems that you have is, especially if you use magazine boxes, you can't fit nearly as many magazines in. Now, it will save you time on the packing, but you can't fit as many in. They also start sliding all over the place, which could be a bit of a problem as well. But if it's valuable, then I will protect it as I store it away, just because. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it gets down to cost. I do as best I can with the money that I'm willing to spend. But, if I were to buy, 20,000 magazine boxes instead of banker boxes. If I were to buy bags and backers for every magazine, I think I crunched the numbers, it was close to $500,000. Because a banker box costs $1.50. A magazine box is $10 now. So it's a big difference, and you can't store as much in them. As far as the bagging and boarding them, I made the decision because a lot of the older magazines, if they've been in the box for 10 years, in and out off the shelf, they're going to get folded, bent, creased up in time. We try to stack them nicer every now and then. We'll have someone go in and clean up some of the boxes. But I made the point that anything like $50 or more gets bagged and boarded. So at least they stay preserved. They're very valuable. I don't want them to be worth $20 in 4, 5, 6 years if they sell.
One quick tip to anybody doing that. Tape is not a friend of paper.
That is very true.
So you need to be very careful when you're doing it, taking it in, taking it out, all that kind of thing, because if you're not careful, tape will catch onto the front of the magazine. And I've had that happen to me before. And then you're going, oh, geez, how am I going to be able to get this off? Right. So be very, very careful. It especially becomes a problem if you're reusing old bags.
Right.
You've got a bag that has tape on it. Yeah. Oh, let me and then it gets caught on there. So it's not worth the quarter of a cent or whatever you're saving.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You end up saving a quarter of a cent and wrecking a $50 comic book.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Amazon seller, good point. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to buy out some of the other eBay sellers. We got a couple in mind. Actually, 3 right now are going to sell me their inventory after June 15th. They're going to let it ride out till then. But people that want to build their business, they're going to probably have a website. If not, they're going to just maybe sell it off, Facebook somewhere, not Facebook, maybe Craigslist or something. But it's going to be a few dealers, and that's going to be about it down the road.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. So true.
Yep.
Closing keywords.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I would do. I would take a look at why and just see what she's doing differently than what you're doing. and then kind of change your listings a little bit. Now, I mean, it could very well be she gets better product. I mean, just because you and I sell comic books, if you're selling Golden Age Superman and I'm selling 1970s Tweety and Sylvester, why does Mr. Magazine always get more for us? Well, yeah, because he's selling stuff everybody wants, whereas I'm selling very niche stuff.
Yeah.
But that's one other quick thing there on the fast listing comic site. Let me ask you a quick question, Mr. Magazine.
Sure.
What can you say, and I'm making this up, private magazine for employees. Oh, well, thank you very much. Now I know. Now,
Mrs. Magazine, thank you.
I guess Jem doesn't have to call, but she'll call anyway just to verify.
Of course.
You've got, and I'm making this issue up over here, but you've got Tweety and Sylvester number 42, Dell Comics, 1961.
Okay.
What can you list about that when you do your listing?
Besides the condition, that's about it. What you just said.
What I've been doing actually is, and again, I'm making it up, but Tweety and Sylvester, Dell Comics, number 41, 1961. I had one that I actually listed, and it was Tweety was running away from Sylvester and Tweety's foot was through a piece of Swiss cheese, so he was running away off the sandwich.
Swiss cheese.
So I put Swiss cheese sandwich.
Yeah, if they're beating up Uncle Sam.
Yeah, right, exactly.
American flag in the background.
Mousetrap. I mean, just all these different things, because I started thinking about it and I said, there are people out there that collect anything and everything.
Yeah.
And so somebody out there is going to buy my carousel, the cover of Woody Woodpecker with the carousel on it.
Sure.
Because they collect carousels and they did not know that Woody Woodpecker, that issue had one.
Yeah.
So I said, you've got this much space to list in. Mm-hmm. And what you have to put is this much. You've got all these extra keywords. You might as well use them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, LQQK only takes up 4 spots.
Good for that.
Excellent condition. Well, see, and that could be a problem in the end as well on that there. I know I always undergrade versus overgrading. And one of the reasons why, and that ties into the long tail, is as we've jokingly said in a lot of videos, very few things get in better condition as time goes on. So if I undergrade it right now and it sells in 8 years, it probably will be in the condition that I listed it in 8 years.
Exactly.
300 characters. Yep. Now there you go.
I'm sure we got some floating around in the scared pile somewhere.
Acid free is not conservation. Oh, conservation. Oh.
All right. Learning a lot tonight.
There we go. Hey, guess what time it is?
Oh, is it that time to ramble on?
Ramble on. It's time for the rambling story of the week.
Is this about me?
No, you were taking the story this week.
I am? Who said so? What was it about? I forgot. I got here at the last second. I didn't prep for this.
You said last week that you were doing the story this week about your good friends at the Comic-Con.
My great friends.
One of us has to pay attention to the show.
I got a lot on my mind tonight, So maybe not. Anywho, so we were talking about Comic-Con.
We were.
And we went, how many years did we go in a row?
Probably 3-4 years.
3-4 years in a row, yeah. This is probably year 2 or 3. And there's obviously, no matter when you go, there's going to be a gigantic line a mile down, And you got to wait in the line. That's just right. No matter who you are, you got to wait in this line, correct? Like there's no one, they don't have like a
you can't pay speed
pass. There's no speed pass.
There's no speed pass.
You got to ride it out, and these lines could take hours. And I don't think we get there when they open. We get there probably noontime, lunchtime.
We get after they open.
We'll have a breakfast and whatever.
Leisurely walk over.
So me and my 2 buddies, Papergoy being one of them,
mysterious benefactor being the other.
We're waiting in line, and we're probably, I don't know how many hundreds of feet away. It's probably an hour wait, at least an hour wait till we get in the door. Estimating. I don't know if I looked the wrong way. Maybe I was looking at a Lamborghini or something driving by, or a pretty woman. I don't know. I come back and my 2 friends are gone. And the line hasn't moved.
Was it an alien abduction or something?
I don't know, but I did have good eyes back then. I don't know how many years ago it was. I look up and I see them at the front of the line going through the door, and I think they were looking back at me, noticing this. We had eye contact, and they act like they didn't know me, and they just walked in. And they left me alone in the line for hours. And by the time I get in there, they've already looked at 20% of the convention.
We were scoping out the good things so you didn't have to take your time to look at them.
You couldn't just said, hey, come on, come join us. Come join us. Let's do something crazy and skip the line.
No,
It wasn't April. It's in August, so it wasn't April Fool's Day. But yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't very happy. You know, maybe they made it up to me and loaned me some money so I can buy the George Barris Batmobile or something. I don't know. But that's what I got for you tonight.
Nice. I don't remember it quite that way, but I seem to recall us going, Mr. Magazine, let's go to the front of the line. You saying, oh no, I could never break the rules. Wasn't that what happened? Something like that.
Yeah. More importantly, Laura's been to All Things Antiques, which is right around the corner from Leone's Collectibles, my shop. Yeah, I do know the owner. We kind of throw things each other's way that we don't deal in. The good guy, he's very fair. Yeah, he's literally a minute around the corner from me.
Yep. And every once in a great while, he'll have an estate sale, or he's had estate sales. And I bought things from him as well. So he's, never had any problem at all with him. Nothing bad to say him about.
I think Don's giving me, that's a pity, $2 to go to me for what you did, I think. Right?
Oh, wow. No, I think she was celebrating how nice I was. You've got great content for the show. Thanks to me. Well, thank you very much. You don't have to do that, but I do thank you very, very much. We can do our last round up here through here and be out of here. And we kept you a little bit late today, and I'm sorry for an item that I so often I've used Google Lens for ideas. Now, you know something? Hopefully, Resale Studio, you can make it next week. We're running out of time tonight, but what is Google Lens? And if you can help us next week on that, I'll write that down right now, and I will bring it up to the crowd.
Yeah. He has no depth perception, so it might help him out down the road.
You never know. Yeah. Is it an artificial eye or something? No. I believe it's where I think you shine your camera. Here I'm old. Point your camera at stuff. But I know I've always used Google Images, which I think is kind of the same. But I wrote that down, and we'll bring that up next week. Talk about Google Lens some, because that'll definitely help me. I know Random Neighborhood Kid, and it's the neatest thing. And then we'll head on out of here. Random Neighborhood Kid, actually, he's got an Apple. And he'll take the...
Hold on. What have we heard about apples from Papergoy? Only kids and teenagers use Apple phones. iPhones, correct?
That would be true.
Oh.
That would be... Well...
Is that a fact? That's a statistic?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
So no one over what age? 20 owns one?
Well, unless they're trying to relive their youth.
Oh.
Unless they're trying to relive their youth.
Yes, those phones were around 25 years ago. Yes.
But anyway, what he does is he points the phone at, he's pointing at, plants, and it'll tell you what kind of plant it is. It'll come right up on the screen and all that stuff. Awesome. So it's pretty neat stuff. Yeah. So I got to figure all that out. Yep. So we're going to find out about Google Lens. We're going to be asking you a lot of questions too, Don, next week, because us old timers, we don't know what that stuff is, but it certainly could help us. Oh, you're shaking your head. No,
I feel young. I have no memory, but I feel young.
All right. Before we leave, why don't you tell us what Google Lens is?
I don't know.
You're an old timer. All right.
I just can't be dumb.
All right. You got me there. All right. Thank you, everybody. I think it was a fun show tonight. Do hit the like button, and we will see you next time. Tell your friends, rewatch the replay, because I swear I said good things about everybody that came in late. I swear that I did. And we will see you next video. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.